Oh, damn it. I was going to do a vampire voice, but I can't do a stupid Bella Lugosi voice. So, anyway,
Well, the sexy voice works.
good evening, ladies and ladies and gents, boils and ghouls. It's Monday night with Janelle.
Mm.
Totally botching this. And it's live, can you tell? Live, uncut, and uncensored. And with us, as the title implies, is Janelle. Good evening, Janelle.
Good evening, everybody. That was that was better. I like that better, the botching. It's more natural. Yes.
It's more natural. Well, I need to get warmed up first if I'm going to do something.
And what is tonight's episode about?
And tonight's episode is all about the movies or television or video games or whatever that has scared us.
Yes.
Yes.
I made a list, guys. I took this seriously.
Excellent.
I made a list.
Cool.
Awesome.
And before we really get started, since it is the Halloween season, this episode brought to you by Case File Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
A hard-boiled detective on the mean streets of Arkham on the trail of an ancient family curse. If you like stories that are hard-boiled noir where men are men, the women are gorgeous, and hell beasts from the abyss do not come with a trigger warning, this is the graphic novel for you. 120 pages.
And that's just the first book.
Yes. All right. So another announcement,
Yes.
because it's down in the description already, but tell them about the new channel and why.
Yes, as we are all well aware, YouTube kind of sucks and has been throttling this channel pretty close to death. So we are going to be moving to the Wordcraft podcast channel. Ishi will be putting the links in the description. So if you have not yet subbed to that channel, please go and do so as soon as possible. By mid-November, we plan on being casting only on that channel, and we will leave this one behind.
Well, I'm thinking maybe we'll leave this channel for the censor-worthy episodes that might get us banned.
Okay.
But Wordcraft will primarily focus on industry, writing technique, and just general entertainment culture. So we want to kind of have an ongoing flow of programming that isn't live, that is edited, highly and heavily produced, that, goes anywhere from 5 minutes to a half hour. The content will include Talking Shop, which is our basic show where Kat and I will discuss everything from, how to get your, Kickstarter to work, to reviewing books and talking about industry problems, to doing a trailer review of Ghostbusters Afterlife, which will be going live on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'll see, we have content for every day of the week this week. So go subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
You'll like it.
I'm glad you guys are bringing back Talking Shop. I loved listening to that show when you guys were doing it. Yeah, I learned a lot. Even though I wasn't going to utilize it, I still learned a ton. It was really educational for me.
Oh, very cool. Was there any topics that we did not cover or that you'd like to have us revisit that you can think of?
None at the moment, because all the stuff that I have questions for is writing, and I get all that from the writer's room. But I like Talking Shop because you went into a lot about editing, and I always wondered about the editing process. And I was like, I have to respect Kat for having to read so much shit to find a diamond in the rough. Like, holy shit, man. I couldn't do that.
I love shit like this.
Yeah, she's also going to be doing the Night Editor again.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I am
good.
gonna
She will be returning to that. So, yes. And by the way, right now, the 2 episodes that are going up is 1 and 2 about Power Girl and Kat's issues with where they've taken the character.
Mm-hmm.
So that 2-parter will be going up this week.
So, yeah.
That's going to be sad to listen to. Not because I'm talking about like where they've taken the character. That's like watching a really awesome character just go down in flames.
Another thing we want to do with the Talking Shop is really get into the Can It Be Saved? Because I think that's the first time we did it on air was on Talking Shop.
I think so too.
Where we did Marvel with all their new characters and said, can it be saved?
Mm-hmm.
I would say hard no, but you guys know more than me. I'm
Well,
at the point, like, nuke it all.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Nuke it all, start from scratch.
Yep.
So, should we tell everyone, hey, let everyone know we're live right now?
Yes. Hey, everyone. Tell others that we're live right now.
And let's start the show.
Oh. Yes. So, how are we doing this? Is it just
you're going to be the host?
I am the host. Okay. So, I didn't know I was hosting tonight. So, okay.
Oh, people like it better when you host.
Well, okay. So, since I am hosting, let's do free form because I don't feel like being uptight and rigid this evening. I feel like loose and free. So let's
that bra's coming off. Is that what you're saying? You're gonna go loose and free?
I actually was planning on taking it off before
yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Kat, you're like me. I mean, it's like bedtime and I'm just like, release the puppies. Oh, it feels so good.
see, my bra is like, how like you have a job where after 8 hours you want to punch out and you're done unless you get time and a half. That's my bra. After about 8 hours, it's like, nope, unless I get time and a half, you're not wearing me anymore. So
yeah, you'd figure if the bras were so great, they wouldn't be the first thing to come off when a woman gets home.
If they are made very well and they are extremely comfy, no, they wouldn't be the first thing to come off. The problem is mine are all well loved, and so.
Do you need more?
Yeah, I do.
Order them. So we're gonna do that Howard Stern thing. Hey everybody, we got a woman in the studio and she's taking off her bra. Yeah, we're on the radio. Who fucking cares? I never understood why people liked that on Howard Stern. It's like, you can't see anything.
I can't believe that the FCC would slap people with fines for that. Like, again, it's radio. You can't see shit. But anyway, Dark Stranger, do women wear the bras or do the bras wear them?
I think it depends on the bra.
Yes, it definitely depends on the bra.
I think some do wear the woman.
Yes, they do.
The real elaborate ones.
They fucking strangle you sometimes.
So
anyway.
I will give it a start. Movies that scared the ever-living shit out of me. Which I would have titled this, but, again, we're already tempting it with YouTube. So, I was 9 years old. And I already didn't have, I wasn't doing great to begin with. And my dipshit uncle said, hey, kids, and it wasn't just me, it was all the kids, let's go see Star Wars. Because, this was back in the day when theaters were still showing Star Wars. You may not, a lot of you probably don't remember this, but there was a time when a popular movie, theaters would actually sometimes own the film they'd own the can so that they could run it regularly to fill space. So there were theaters in the mid 80s still running the original Star Wars. So that wasn't a surprise. So we all hopped in his van and we drove down to the theater and we got into the theater and sat down and it was fucking Poltergeist.
Oh my God. That's a hard no.
And I am 9 years old. The scariest thing I have ever seen at this point was, The Watcher in the Woods, maybe? Which was a Disney film no one seems to remember.
I remember it.
Yeah, or maybe a couple episodes of The Twilight Zone. But so I'm 11 years old. We're sitting down when the previews come on. They seem a little inappropriate for Star Wars, but I'm a kid. You don't really think about it. And you're waiting for it, and you see the, rated R. Well, I've never seen one of those before. And then the film starts.
Really awesome.
And the really evil thing about Poltergeist, I mean, it is a good film, is like the first 15 minutes really lull you into a sense of this being a domestic comedy.
Oh, that scene where the neighbor and Craig T. Nelson are fighting over who's got control of the television because they
Right.
want to watch the game and the neighbor wants his kid to watch cartoons and they're
Yeah,
fighting over it.
and the
Yeah,
remotes keep switching the neighbor's
it
channel back
does.
and
It
forth.
it really does not come off as a horror film until like maybe 30, 40 minutes in, and then it doesn't just ease you in. It slaps you in the fucking face.
Yeah, because even when the supernatural elements start happening, it's played off as more interesting and fun than scary.
Mhm.
Oh
And
yeah,
there's
with
like,
the chairs in the kitchen.
yeah, things are moving, and the poltergeist activity doesn't really seem hostile. And there was like the point where they were like, "Hey, look, watch! If you sit here, it'll slide you across the room," and they're giggling and having fun. And then it goes evil, and that goddamn clown.
Is she? My mom had that fucking paper mache clown in the house when I was a kid, and I saw Poltergeist.
That was
thing,
real?
No.
That thing really existed?
they made them in Mexico. And my family and I, we went to Mexico a lot because my mom and my dad spent a ton of time in Mexico when they were kids. So it was like a second home. And she had that fucking marionette. And after I saw that movie, that marionette disappeared from the house. I think my dad used me being scared shitless of it to get rid of it because it was the same fucking marionette. I kid you not.
That thing was creepy looking.
Yes, it was.
Oh my god.
It must have been a 70s thing, like 70s, early 80s to have those in your house.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not joking, man. That thing disappeared after I watched that movie with my parents because they really had no filter. Just, I wasn't allowed to watch sex scenes. So when it showed up on HBO for the first time, they let me watch it. I was like 5 or 6. I was scared shitless. I hated my closet. I thought I was going to be sucked in. I didn't want to get in our swimming pool. Like, it screwed me up, man.
Oh man.
And when the kid tears the clown up screaming, "I hate you, I hate you," I was right there with him. I was all
You
for
felt
it.
his struggle.
Yes, I did. The other things that really screwed me up was the tree trying to eat the kid.
Oh God, dude, I'm starting to get chills because I was gonna say Poltergeist is like in the top 3 movies that still scare the shit out of me as an adult. So
Yeah.
Oh.
And the number one thing, and this is when I cried, freaked the fuck out, started screaming, was when the dude starts ripping his face off.
Oh God! Oh.
And now we're going to go down a dark path. I ran screaming to my uncle saying, "Ah!" And he actually shoved me down and said I was a pussy.
Well, your uncle's a dipshit.
And my parents didn't do fuck all about it. It's like, dude, you should have kicked his ass. So that's my entry, my opening entries. Poltergeist, Tobe Hooper really did make a very effective film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I will give it points. The investigation aspect was fascinating. It was actually based on real investigations. Of course, they were never that impressive.
Oh no,
But that element that they were researching it, and there seemed to be this weird logic rather than just blatant supernatural, I guess made it feel a little more real to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, weren't they from UCLA? Because I know it takes place in California.
Yeah.
So I thought they were, because there's still a huge paranormal department at UCLA.
Yes,
Mhm.
there is. And in fact, Richard Matheson, the author of I Am Legend, was a part of it,
Yes.
as is his son, Christian Richard Matheson. And the story of Hell House, he actually based the parapsychologist in that story on some of the people he knew at UCLA.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, it was through reading Hell House and knowing Matheson that I learned how much in Ghostbusters was real, how much they shoved in there that's actual, including in even the second film, even though that one wasn't as good.
And also the film The Entity, that was based on the researchers at UCLA.
Mhm.
That was based on a true story. Do you ever read the story about the woman that it's based on and the hell that she has lived through because of that entity?
I've seen a very good documentary on it and interviews with the researchers.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that another time because I don't really want to scare the shit out of everyone right now.
You know what? Yeah, The Entity actually is another movie that's not in my top 3, but the first time I saw it, that was a very uncomfortable movie to watch.
I bet.
Actually, for me, the first part of it actually didn't creep me out. It wasn't until the investigators showed up, and then that was when shit got real to me, and that's when it started getting creepy. But anyway,
So somebody else's turn. Oh wait,
Wait.
This is actually fair. Apparently, a lot of people felt this way.
the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang freaked me out as a kid too, from JEC.
Do you know that book was written by Ian Fleming for his son?
I did
And
know
that's
that.
that's
Oh,
that's what
wow.
the Aston Martin was based on for Goldfinger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Now, I was going to say that apparently Marilyn Manson was freaked out by that character, but yet when he got older, he kind of adopted that guise.
Well,
I've never seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I should, because my son loves the book.
What's weird if you see the film is you see Benny Hill in a serious role, and he's great.
That's going to be hard to disconnect from.
Well, you might actually look and say, wait, is that Benny Hill under that beard and mustache and that hat? It kind of looks like him.
I should rent it. I should rent it and watch it with the kiddo.
Hitman Wanderer, the original haunting at Hill House was spooky, particularly the scene where the main character is hearing weird noises outside of her room.
Any comment on that? Because I know you're very familiar with that film.
No, I'm not actually.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm familiar with House on Haunted Hill.
Oh, okay.
But Haunting of Hill House, I've read the book. I'm not getting into the book right now. I have opinions that are not favorable, but I've never seen the original movie. I've always wanted to.
Okay.
I kind of liked the remake with Liam Neeson, even though it's nothing like either source material. So
okay, that's your assignment. Your next night editor.
Yeah.
Take on why you're not a fan of Haunting at Hill House. It's perfect for the season, and you have a very good critique of the pros and cons of the story.
Okay, I can do that.
I think it would be very interesting.
I can definitely do that.
Okay, let's do a few more because I think we can all agree with some of these.
Sun at Dawn 2000. Walked in on my family watching Alien right as the chest burster scene when I was 11. Took months to get over it. Now it's my favorite movie.
That scene was more disturbing to me than scary. No, the thing that got me in Alien, what was the tunnels with Dallas.
Oh,
that was the part that fucked me up.
The cervix tunnels. That's what I always call them. Well, because they were based on Giger's designs. They were cervixes.
They were cervixes.
Yeah.
It was the dude got pulled up in the room with all the chains, and it's just darkness.
Oh, Harry Dean Stanton's character.
Yeah.
That was the one that got you?
And I'm sorry, I don't remember characters. And the guy who he was with goes to where he had been, and just the blood starts dripping. It's like, check me out. I'm done.
That was another movie that lulled you into a false sense of security because of the blue collar feel of that. You know, they were all bullshitting. They were all talking about like union stuff, who was going to get, what was it? Like their pay, who was going to get what pay.
They're eating Fruit Loops.
They're smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee. It's like the perfect scene for a 70s film where people are just sitting around bullshitting. And then they go to the planet and you have the scariness with the face hugger and, seeing the space jockey, or I'm sorry, they're now called engineers. With its chest blown out. It's a space jockey. Yeah. I honestly, side note, I don't count Prometheus or the other abomination that Ridley Scott created afterwards.
No, that's a fanfic. They're not real.
Well,
and I was just gonna say then. What's his name? Kane comes out of the coma and like he's fine. They're like, okay, it just must have been like some alien parasite just chilling, and then it died, so he's okay. And then his fucking chest explodes, and everybody's reactions are actually real.
Yes.
Poor Veronica Cartwright is pissing her pants because the majority of the raspberry jam landed on her. And so when she sounds like she's going to barf saying, oh God, she was literally trying not to barf. but it's so visceral.
It is.
Well, here's I think what you're getting at is that first act, the way it's shot, if you watch it, first off, the dialogue is incredibly realistic.
Mhm.
It isn't cinematic dialogue at all.
No, it's sounds like it was outlined, not scripted.
Yeah, you could have walked in on any union meeting or a factory floor or some truckers and hear them talk the same way.
Mhm.
The other thing is the way that the first half or a first act is shot is like a documentary. And I mean, it
Yeah.
literally is shot like a documentary.
Mhm.
And that's what really messes you up.
Well, you know what else I noticed? I don't know if you guys noticed it. The ship didn't seem as claustrophobic until after the chest burster. Then the walls, the rooms seemed smaller. The hallways seemed more closed in. You had the cervical opening closings of the oh, what was it, Dallas? Not the tubes. Help me out, guys. What he was crawling through with the flamethrower before he got caught.
Oh, it's the ventilation ducts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ventilation ducts. Like I noticed that everything seems a little bit more roomy until the chest burster shows up, and then everything seems really claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you can act, even if you aren't claustrophobic, people have talked about how they felt claustrophobic watching that film.
I agree. And somebody else mentioned this in the chat. I'm sorry, I don't remember who. The Alien Isolation, the video game.
Oh, yeah.
That definitely is up there, going along the subject matter of Alien. It doesn't matter how many times you've played that game, it never isn't creepy.
I'm a pussy. I can't finish it. I noped out. I was like, nope, put the controller down. I think it was after I had scared the shit out of Steve and Chris screaming playing that game at night, having a jump scare. It's like, yeah, we're done. Yeah, I'm okay.
Well, the goddamn xenomorph is a random encounter, so it can come and kill you, and then when you respawn, it's not there. It's like,
Yep.
oh fuck. Anyway, JEC, the most a movie traumatized me as a kid was the nuclear bomb scene in Terminator 2. That was how I learned nuclear bombs were a thing. I was 5.
That's a pretty intense
Woof.
scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And Yang says that he thinks he was about 9 when he saw The Exorcist.
Oh God. I'd like to get you on here just to hear the psychological scarring that you had from seeing that movie at 9 years old.
Sleepaway
Yeah.
Camp is Damien's. Silver Bullet for Wolf Media.
Okay.
Hey, you're a werewolf,
That's
though.
a rad movie. That movie's awesome. Gary Busey kicked ass in that film.
I'm going to say, I think in a way I was a little gypped with Poltergeist because I actually didn't see it until I was older. But a family friend of my parents worked on that movie. So they kind of spoiled for me everything that was going to happen.
Oh, that sucks.
So,
The Conjuring for Samuel Okolai.
Yep.
And Olkey. I don't know.
And the Banshee from Darby O'Gill's and the Little People by Retnick.
Yeah, that's interesting because apparently for kids in the 60s and 70s, that film, a lot of them have that experience. I was too old, or I was far, far, far too young for that. But I recall my dad saying growing up as a kid, that scared the shit out of him.
Really? Okay, speaking of old tales and stuff like that, though I still to this day enjoy the movie. The beginning scene in the movie The Witches, where the grandma is telling the tale of the witch in her village and how one of the little girls disappeared and wound up in a painting. Still to this day, there are certain paintings of like farmhouses where I cannot get near them without kind of getting wigged out that there might be a little girl in there.
That was a good movie. I heard that the remake was an abortion on
I'm pretending
screen.
it didn't happen.
But I was a teenager. I was in high school when The Witches, the movie came out, and it didn't scare me as much as I know it scared kids. but it was still creepy enough. Just it was like, wow, that's fucked up. This is from the same guy that wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Well, actually, and Roald Dahl nearly had his name removed from it because of the ending. The studio is like, Roald, your original ending is too creepy, so we're gonna happy it up. And because his original plan was that the little boy who's been turned to a mouse, his lifespan is now that of a mouse. So he lives for only another year or so, same with his grandmother, and he and his grandmother die together of old age. That
Actually,
is
that would
so
have fit.
sad.
That's sad, but it would have fit better.
It
Because
would
the
have
little
fit better,
boy
but
wouldn't
yeah.
have the little boy wouldn't have had anyone when his grandmother died. So I can see why he did that. It's like more of a bittersweet ending.
But the studio is like, no, that's too sad. We can't have that. Trenton, my brother hates that movie and refuses to watch it again. For me, Tremors had me scared to go out at night to get the dog bowl.
Oh God.
Oh, I still
So-
haven't seen Tremors.
So,
It's
Janelle,
good.
what's
Yes.
one of yours on your list?
All right, I'm going to do the same thing you did, Ishi. All right, so it's 1995, and I'm at a friend's house. We're celebrating her birthday. It's her, me, and another girl. And they say, let's watch Pet Sematary.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't sleep for a week after seeing that movie. I was scared shitless the whole time. I was traumatized. To this day, when that movie comes on TV, I walk out of the room. The sister scared me more than Gage. Not
Really?
Gage's sister, but the mom's sister. And I should have known better, because my mom was pregnant when she read Pet Sematary. And when Gage got killed in the book, she set the book down and left it at the dentist's office where she was having an appointment. And they called her and they said, come, you left your book here. And she said, burn it.
Oh, whoa.
And she refused to finish it because she was like 8 months pregnant with me when she was reading it. And when Gage got killed, she was like, nope. And she refused to watch the movie. I ended up reading the book after watching the movie because all of you know I'm glutton for punishment. I was so scared. I was on vacation with my parents. It was daytime. I finished the book. I tossed it in the drawer of the motorhome, and I would not leave my parents' side. Like that whole trip, I was 16 years old. A 16-year-old glommed to her parents for like 2 days because that book was so traumatizing. And I hate that fucking movie because it scares the shit out of me. I'm 42 years old, and that book the movie gives me the piss willies. I can't. I will not even, like, Steve will want to watch it. I'm like, no, turn that shit off or I'm leaving. So that's mine.
How about
Sorry
you,
if I
Kat?
killed everybody's mood.
No.
No.
How about you?
Oh, me.
You can't think of any?
Oh, no, it's not that. I'm trying to think of a good story. Because I don't have anything that says. Actually, you know what? I do. Take that back. I do. Okay. Well, it starts with a slumber party, as all good stories, in horror films do with girls. Although, sorry, it's not teenage girls doing wet t-shirt contests. We were all in elementary school. So, let's see. In fact, I think it was the birthday girl's 9th birthday. So we were all between the ages of 8 and 10. And I'm not even 100% positive if her parents were in the house or not. I want to think they were, but I also kind of think they had left us alone, which, yeah, that was smart. But so you've got like 10 girls, and we all decide to put on horror films. So we put on The Gate.
Oh, Jesus, you did not at that age.
And so we put on The Gate.
That's a great film.
And it was midnight, and we had all the lights off. And then somebody said, hey, let's play with the Ouija board. So we're playing with the Ouija board while watching The Gate with all of the lights off at midnight. And yeah, some weird freaky shit happened. But the main thing is that the with all of that crap happening, and then I would see flashes of the gate in the background, and you had the scene where the parents show up. And this is why I don't think her parents were home, is because the parents and the kids of the kid in the movie show up, and then it turns out they're demons, and they turn into like maggot-ridden corpses and fall apart.
Oh,
And
that's right. Doesn't the kid tear off his dad's face when the demon picks him up? Go, you've been bad.
Exactly. And they just like melts, and it was just really horrifying. And all of us girls were screaming because that's what girls do, and it didn't bother the adults. And it was that feeling of there is no hope, nobody's coming to save you, you know, the adults are gone, you're left alone with the monster. And that feeling kind of stuck with me for years involving that movie. I love the film, but that particular scene just still gets me as being fucking terrifying.
I remember the phone also melts when they try to call the police, and you hear it, you've been bad.
Yeah.
And then the phone just melts, and you're like, fuck. That movie's really disturbing, but like in a good way. I couldn't handle geodes for a couple of years after seeing that movie. I thought they were the gateway to hell, and there's demons inside of geodes. So I avoided those like the plague. Yeah, like I saw the movie when I was a kid too. So of course I was like, nah, dude. And my dad was like collected geodes and stuff because he was his hobby besides cooking was also geology. So I was like, nah, that's Satan shit. I'm staying away from it.
Me, it was anytime like for years, if I got like an itch in the palm of my hand, I would kind of be worried that there'd be an eyeball there.
You know what, Kat? After I saw that movie, if the palm of my hand itched, I got kind of freaked out too. I thought I was gonna have to find a pencil or some glass and cut it out.
Exactly. It's like, you know, do I have the balls to do it?
Yeah.
I just like that the demons were unleashed by hidden messages in a heavy metal album.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played it backwards.
That was hilarious.
Yes.
It was the nerdiest kid in school who was the one who was in the heavy metal.
Yeah, the nerdiest kid in school was the metalhead.
Like how believable, in fact. JW, to Yang. I agree. All the kids are victims of grotesque traps. Their weaknesses are being exploited, and Willy Wonka scared me as a little kid.
Well, I have a theory about Wonka.
Oh.
I have a theory, and really, I think it calls for a remake. My theory is that Willy Wonka was the inspiration for Saw, because he was putting these kids into death traps to teach them a lesson about not valuing what they had in life.
Isn't that kind of creepy?
Actually, that would be pretty awesome to watch. Just don't let Tim Burton narrate.
Yeah.
He's already done his film.
You know, that one had potential to possibly be better than the one with Gene Wilder.
It just didn't land.
No, it didn't. It was too wacky. It was too eccentric. Like it just, yeah.
If his original plan of having Marilyn Manson be Wonka had happened, would it have saved it?
I don't know, but it would have been more entertaining.
Yeah.
Manson wanted to do it too. He because of scheduling for tours, he couldn't do it.
Honestly, I think it would have been kind of better. Like Johnny Depp is kind of he's really played out the whole eccentric weirdo.
He played it like he was Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Like,
and that was just kind of creepy.
What was it? The Factory is more like Neverland. You just expect Bubbles the chimp to come flying out at any moment.
Yeah.
Not with Deep Roy.
Yeah. Another one I would say as an adult that has always stuck with me, that to this day gives me chills and still frightens me, but it's one of my favorites, Event Horizon. I think the pseudo-scientific nature of it, the tone, the imagery, how well written it is, how believable the characters are, and just the premise itself. It is disturbing.
I had the exact opposite reaction. I was like, this movie's fucking awesome and I want to go to the hell dimension. That's probably why I'm a fan of Warhammer, because I found out Paul W.S. Anderson based that movie off the Immaterium and Warhammer.
Oh,
And
That
really?
explains a lot.
Yeah, it does.
I guess he was at, hey, the Brits love their Warhammer because Games Workshop's from there.
Mhm.
So he was a big Warhammer 40K fan, and so that was the inspiration for Event Horizon. So
It would also explain the interior of the ship.
yes, it looks like the interior of the great ships that the oh my gosh, I should know these things, and I'm brain farting so horribly. The Astartes, the huge soldiers that
Oh, yeah.
But the only scene that disturbed me in that movie was when the medic, the
The
mother,
surgeon.
yeah,
Not the surgeon, the mother. Yeah.
yeah, that was the medic, not the
Yeah.
surgeon, was chasing down her son. Like, that was the only scene that bothered me because she just wanted to get back home to her son, you know, and the ship was able to use that against her, and she was the first death. That was like, dude, that fucking sucks. That was heartbreaking. Other than that, I was like, this movie's great. This is like Nightmare on Elm Street in outer space. I'm so down.
I don't know. I think the surgeon's one of the few movie characters I kind of related to, and he got it pretty bad.
DJ, played by the wonderful Jason Isaacs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That was fucked up what happened to him.
The thing is he'd seen too much. He couldn't be traumatized, so the ship just killed him.
Yeah. He would have survived over anybody. He would have figured out a way to get out, no problem.
Him combined with John Pertwee.
Sean Pertwee.
Or Sean Pertwee, sorry.
Yeah, he was great in that.
I felt so bad for him, though. Like, not how I felt bad for the medic, but it was
I'm
just
not
like
fucking coming in.
he literally got the ship back together.
Yeah.
And then it blows up. I was just like, oh, that's such a shitty move.
But in the other great thing about that film, there's a laundry list of great things and creepy as fuck things too. But for the time period, that was the age where it was still the black guy was the first to die. And not only was that not the case, one of the two survived and the other was Lawrence Fishburne, who sacrificed himself for everyone.
He went like a boss too.
Yeah.
I think one of the effectivenesses, what made that film so effective, is it does one of the things that the Hellraiser, or what the first two Hellraiser films did, and also the Void, which is you get the sense that you're looking at something you shouldn't be seeing.
I disagree about the Void, but definitely with Hellraiser.
That it's a window into something you shouldn't be seeing, that it wasn't meant for human eyes.
Well, just like with Hellraiser, this is something that has come back from a very bad place. And if this would come back, what's still out there?
Well, I mean, I'll go farther. I mean, actually, on a philosophical sense, there's a feeling like I shouldn't be looking at this, is what I get.
Oh, that you've investigated too far, you've gone too far down the rabbit hole, and now like you're seeing things that are going to probably destroy your psyche forever.
Right.
And you should have just stopped when that feeling in the pit of your stomach was saying, like, don't go any further. Just don't, walk away.
Now, it's just a film, so it really doesn't, but it gives you that sense while you're watching it.
Yeah, Event Horizon more for me than Hellraiser. Hellraiser to me was just people falling to their debauchery, and like nothing else will give them pleasure, so they have to go and do the most profane, disgusting things.
Yeah, there's a sense of taboo in Hellraiser.
Yeah, whereas Event Horizon, it was you opened a door that had been locked by science and physics for a reason.
Yeah.
But your arrogance opened the door, and now you've unleashed a portal to hell. And it's just like in Warhammer 40K, all the hallucinations they're seeing, that happens when they're going through the Immaterium. You get the hallucinations. The ship kind of comes to life.
Oh,
And like
shit.
fucked up shit. You will see fucked up shit. You'll see your crew members get possessed by demons and start killing each other. They'll like rip their eyeballs out. They'll mutilate themselves. So yeah,
So he
to
really
me,
did just wholesale rip that from Warhammer.
I won't say that he ripped it off, but it was a heavy inspiration because there's more to Warhammer than just like opening a portal to hell to transport from point A to point B. But yeah, the inspiration is there. But I really do like the idea of you unlock something you shouldn't have,
Yeah.
because yeah, I mean, you literally opened up the portal to hell.
Well, I know when it first came out, I had a friend who was very much so into conspiracy theories, and he's the one I went and saw it with in the theaters. And he's like, no, 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 it's the Philadelphia experiment, but in space. And he was just so freaking excited about that. So I wouldn't doubt it if that's, Warhammer, along with, conspiracies like that, went into Event Horizon. So.
I have a movie
Yes.
that is a scary movie, but it's in a very realistic sense. And please don't laugh at me, guys.
Okay.
The movie Jaws. Because the one scene that scared the shit out of me as a kid really had nothing to do with the shark itself. It's when Quint talks about his experience with the USS Indianapolis.
Yes.
That is the theme that made the movie.
Scared the shit out of me. Like to the point, like I didn't care about the shark anymore. It was the horror that these men experienced for like, what was it, weeks?
It really happened too.
Yeah, it was a true story. And so to me, Jaws is a really good horror film because it is realistic in a way that, like you're not at the top of the food chain when you're in the ocean. But the story about the USS Indianapolis was so harrowing that it really brought chills to me when I first saw that film. And I really understood what the USS Indianapolis was.
Do you want to go first? Or?
I want to add to that.
And then I do too.
Spielberg had that scene written because he felt that something in the script just didn't have resonance and they had to have meaning to what was going on. So he tapped John Milius, director and writer of Conan and Red Dawn, to write that scene.
No way. No wonder that scene kicks ass.
He is such a good writer.
What I was going to say is before ever seeing Jaws, there's a lot of these films, unfortunately, I didn't see till much later. We were working hard on Titanium Rain and on Rock 105.3 from the Mikey Show. They were doing one of their 24-hour shows for charity. And at midnight, they had on a guy who survived the Indianapolis.
What?
And
I vaguely remember that.
And they interviewed him for about 2 hours and just had him talk about his experiences. And that was amazing to hear. And then I saw Jaws.
Kind of puts everything into perspective for that scene.
Yeah. Well, they even asked him, it's like, so was that, was what Quint said, what you experienced? And he goes, well, that wasn't what I experienced, but I wasn't in, these boats over here that were being attacked a lot. I was over here.
God damn. Still to survive that, nobody knows you're out there. That was the other thing it just wasn't the sharks. It was literally, they were on such a super secret mission. Nobody else in the Navy knew they were out there. So nobody was going to come rescue them. And they just got lucky.
I got damn lucky.
Yeah. I mean, so that line that he gives with such sarcasm, but at least we delivered the bomb. I was just like, fuck. Wow, dude. So yeah, that's another, it's not, like I said, it's not in my top 3, but I like Jaws as a horror film because it's very realistic. That there weren't, and the way that it was filmed too was brilliant. It was kind of like how John Carpenter did Halloween. You didn't really see Michael Myers. You didn't really see a lot of blood, but you knew the presence was there. It's the same thing with Jaws. You knew the shark was there. You knew the shark was hunting, but you didn't know when it was going to hit. And then the USS Indianapolis was just like the perfect icing on the cake.
And that film, you can understand why it sparked, mass slaughter of sharks. Just the way it was shot. The book itself is written just as good. I haven't read all of Jaws, but I did read all of The Beast, which was the follow-up book. And that was about a giant kraken. And that one, I still to this day cannot go in the ocean unless I can see the ocean floor. I refuse to go into the water because of that book. It scared me that bad. So I can see why people would go shark hunting after reading the book and then watching the film.
Have you heard the story about Richard Dreyfuss and Steven Spielberg when they go on vacation together? Since they stayed really good friends, they'll only go into the water ankle deep because they said that, they got a target on their back from Mother Nature. If they go any further, the sharks are going to get them. Like, for real. They won't go in past their ankles. They're like, nah, man, we made Jaws. We kind of poked the hornet's nest, so to speak. So we're not going to test fate. He says it's just these two Jewish guys and up to their ankles in the ocean, just chilling.
But I can see that, though.
Yeah, I mean, at least they recognize, like, okay, yeah, we know what's really out there, so we're just going to stay here. But they let their wife and their kids go out there and still play. They chill.
But then, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're down to the last roughly 15 minutes of the show.
Okay.
Any last films you want to bring up?
It's not a film, and I can't recall what the name of the episode was, but it's the episode of the 90s Tales from the Crypt, where you have the Geraldo type character who goes into a haunted house. I'd say it's like proto reality TV. And still to this day, I cannot watch that episode either alone, or if I am alone, all the lights have to be on, because haunted house stories scare the ever-living shit out of me. So
I love that series. That Tales from the Crypt was groundbreaking for horror and comedy. And just, sometimes it was straight horror, sometimes it was straight comedy, and sometimes it was a perfect blend. But yeah, there were a couple of episodes from that show that I was like, no, okay.
So, how about you? Are there any others you want to toss in?
Okay, this one's not this is another one that's not necessarily a horror film. Ishi, I think you and I have talked about it before, but the first Terminator movie, especially growing up during the Cold War. And it was the future war scenes, especially the one where he's in the bunker with the survivors, and you see the two kids bundled together, and it looks like they're watching TV, and then it pans around, and they're not watching TV. They're trying to stay warm from a fire that has been lit inside the TV, and the absolute hopelessness. Like, there's no hope. It's gone. And then, what's his name? Is it Franco Columbo was the guy that was the other Terminator in the flashback? He was one of Arnold's buddies, but he just comes in and mows down everyone. Yeah. One dude mows down an entire battalion of people and survivors. And for growing up in the Cold War and seeing a scene like that was fucking scary. Like, even without the robots, you didn't have to have the robots to see that kind of devastation of the human race. Was awful. And so I always considered Terminator a sci-fi horror.
Which is fair, considering apparently the inspiration for it was apparently he'd seen Friday the 13th. He said, I want to do that with a robot.
Oh, shit.
You know what? I can see that. Or is it Jason Voorhees is the Terminator?
Yeah, essentially. Well, he keeps getting up.
Yeah.
He's indestructible. So we found the
Kane
name.
Hodder as a Terminator. That's a lost opportunity right there. Kane's
That
the
would have
one
been
who,
great to see.
who's known for being Jason. In fact, nobody can play Jason like Kane can.
So we found the name of the episode.
Oh, it is Television Terror.
Television Terror. And it doesn't seem to credit it, but it is actually taken from an older story that was remade numerous times on various 1940s radio shows.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait, Ralt said something. Threads with some scary Cold War stuff there. That miniseries scares the shit out of me to this day. They actually worked with NASA to show what it would look like realistically when the bombs hit. Holy shit, I would rather be incinerated. I want to be vaporized.
Well, for that matter, The Day After has nothing. I mean, literally nothing on Threads.
Well, it wasn't. The Day After came out first, and then the BBC, being the BBC, is like, no, we're going to do something more realistic and serious and not so dramatic. And they actually said Threads scared an entire generation of children that watched it. Yeah, that is an actual good horror film. That's a realistic horror film.
Okay, so
Fizz Chozo brings up Are You Afraid of the Dark from 2010? No, sir, you should watch the 90s one.
So, okay, we're down to the last 9 minutes.
Okay.
Should we do our goodbyes and telling everyone to check the links?
Sure, I guess. Unless, Janelle, did you have any other ones you wanted to cover?
Oh, dude, I got a list. I could have gone through the whole list tonight. I mean, if you want to go with classics, I will always say that the original Nightmare on Elm Street is still one of the best horror films. That still gives me the creeps. I think the way Wes Craven did that movie was fantastic. And you can't get a better Freddy than Robert Englund.
There is no other Freddy.
Well, I mean, there was Jackie Earle Haley, and some people are like, oh, he was better. And I'm like, no. You're dumb.
No. Robert Englund is Freddy and vice versa. Just the fact that didn't they make a meta movie where it was the cast of Nightmare on Elm Street?
That was
New
good.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wish that had been better understood. That was a really good one. I actually like that better than the originals.
Steve likes A New Nightmare over the first one. And I gotta say, I mean, that's a good movie too. That'll scare the shit out of you because it's like, oh, so this is really happening. And they're having to keep the evil back by churning out all these films.
Well, I think that audiences had a hard time grasping the metaphorical and meta aspect of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, really, it is a film about writing and what drives writers, if you really think about it.
Actually, that'd be a great thing to.
Okay, well, we have to watch it so you can see it.
Yeah, well, watch it again anyway.
Oh, you have seen it? Yeah,
I was actually awake when you were watching it, but that was years ago, so I want to watch it again.
All right. As we all may have noticed, YouTube isn't informing you guys when we go live. In fact, a lot of you are getting unsubscribed from this channel on a regular basis. Numerous of you have begun emailing me saying, hey, I've been unsubscribed, or hey, I'm not getting notifications anymore, even though I clicked the bell. For that reason, what have we done, Kat?
We've created a new channel.
Really? And what is that new channel called?
That new channel is called Wordcraft.
Okay, say it sexy. They like that.
Well, this new channel is called Wordcraft. I know it'll get all of you really hot.
Especially if you're a writer. But
because words are sexy.
Now, we're going to keep this channel for the more politically incorrect material. But as far as Wordcraft is concerned, that is going to be the channel where we talk about Indian industry stuff. We do reviews of movies, comics, and books. We talk writing technique. And the night editor has her
Mhm.
show there
Yes, and
where she answers your questions.
I will be returning to it. So if you have questions for the night editor, please send them to me.
So yeah, go over and subscribe right now and click the little bell and all that other stupid stuff.
And for those of you who have already subbed, thank you very much.
Yeah, we were quite pleased to see how quickly the subscribers have gone up. Also, a lot of our old listeners have been unsubscribed or don't even know we exist anymore. So if you could kind of spread it around, tell people, hey, they've got a new channel, it'd be cool.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you again, Janelle. This has been an absolute blast.
Thank you for having me. I love talking about horror films. Like I said, I made a list. It's a page long. I could have gone all night.
Well, we'll have to revisit this then,
Well,
actually.
I figure we'll just keep the horror theme going until the end of October.
Which is Sunday.
Yeah, I know. We should have really started earlier, but we were busy.
You want to do a part 2? Like, I mean, November 1st is still the Day of the Dead, so
That's true.
kind of become a combination of 2 days.
That is very true. It's the spooky season, and then like the day after. Not quite the hangover, but more the I still have candy to eat.
So, yeah. And, maybe if one of you guys want to join in this time and you have movies you want to talk about, email me. Now, I can't bring you all on, but email me. Okay. And, tell them about Whispers from the Abyss.
Oh, yes. And
that's what we're pushing this month.
And the big news is that the Whispers from the Abyss anthology, volumes 1 and 2, available on Amazon, now has an audio version. That is, select stories from each volume have been turned into an audiobook read by Lance Roger Axt, who is an amazing voice actor. He does a lot of things for Amazon, including Lock and Key. And he was instrumental in getting our Titanium Rain.
He did the voice of Alec. Also, he was heavily involved in the X-Files audio dramas that came out a couple of years ago. So
that too.
Very experienced, very, very skilled reader. And god damn, did he do a great job of Wilbur the Clown in my Death War Grease Paint.
Yes.
That's the one he reads. It's an hour and a half long of just my story.
I can't wait to hear that.
Well, the link's in the description.
Yep, links in the description.
Yeah,
you can hear it on Audible and on Amazon.com.
I don't know if he figured it out or if I told him, but that Wilbur was based on Steve-O on PCP.
Oh my god.
But
how did I not pick up on that?
The first time he did the story, he read it twice. The first time he did the clown, like the Kellogg's clown from the 50s. Gosh, kids, how you doing? Right?
Yeah.
But so he said, no, I got to redo this. And he redid it as Steve-O.
Yes.
And he does it so well. Dude!
Oh my, so he's got that like nasally tweaker surfer voice going on?
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. Oh, it's going to be so good.
We could also talk video games next week, horror games.
Definitely, there's plenty.
Yeah.
Oh man, good classics like the original Silent Hill. That game gave me the piss willies playing that with my friends back in the day.
System Shock 2, Manhunt. Those are the two that come off the top of my head right now that really kind of got me.
Bioshock. That's more of a body horror though, but it was still really good. The first
System Shock.
Well, Bioshock is the spiritual successor of what'd you just say? System Shock, which I never played, which sucks. I would have loved it because it was a cyberpunk game.
Yeah, System Shock 2 had these semi-transparent spiders that were like the size of dogs, and they'd like come out of nowhere and climb right up you, and it's first-person perspective.
Oh, dude, no.
And the sound design in that game was terrifying.
No, this is how creepy that was. First year we started dating, hanging out in his room. and he's playing the game. The lights are all off. Full surround sound is going. I'm sitting on the bed watching him play. Over his shoulder, those goddamn spiders showed up, and I nearly hit the ceiling. I was so freaked out.
Oh
Well,
no!
with the fear reaction we get from spiders, the first time that happened to the game, I actually jumped backwards and was rubbing my chest trying to get it off. Also, the genetically mutated
the monkeys.
monkeys and the babies.
Oh, the monkey. I don't remember the babies, but I remember the monkeys.
Yeah, or just disturbing as hell.
Ugh.
So yeah, there's System Shock 2. One more. I think somebody asked if a documentary counts, and I would say yes, because the documentary The Nightmare really stuck with me. All right, should we say goodnight?
Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired.
And I could use some dinner.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
gotta put
everyone.
my kid to bed.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you
Good
again for
night.
joining us. Sub to our new channel, and we'll see you on the next show.
Yes.